not just China, but the rest of the world has a phrase for us. We are a third world country with a Gucci belt. Have a video go viral internationally? People from all over the world were commenting that. All over the world, they've been saying that about us.
Please stay for this, because I've reached the part in this whole class consciousness part where I'm just filled with the most impotent rage, and I'm talking that white hot, I need to sink my teeth into something and scream kind of rage. Because what do you mean that it never had to be this hard for us? What do you mean in other countries they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries? What do you mean in other countries everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent, or that their mortgages aren't their entire paycheck? What do you mean that people in China work one job and they don't even work 40 hours and they can easily afford their life? And then I'm over here working 60 hours a week, just me as a single parent, to barely make ends meet, and I'm penny pinching every single second, and there's so much of life that my kid misses out on and that I miss out on because of money and work and no social support net. And you mean to tell me that it didn't have to be like this? They keep us in these chains on purpose, and it never had to be like this. I did everything right. I went to college. I had to drop out of college to take care of my mom when she was sick, because again, no social services, no safety nets. My dad worked his whole life and died and left everything to my mom. My mom was disabled and she lived on credit, and she barely made ends meet, and she did everything she was supposed to, and I did everything I was supposed to, and it just keeps getting worse. It was never supposed to be like this, and I'm so angry that it is. Because what do you mean? I've spent so much of my life working so hard to scrape by, and it never had to be like that. My suffering was at the expense of someone else becoming wealthy because they could. And I am so angry about this. It can't stay like this. It doesn't have to stay like this.
This past week has been a very interesting one on TikTok. For those of us who are not on TikTok, that's why I'm here to give you guys the update as to what exactly has been going on. So, I believe the majority of us have heard about the TikTok ban talk that has been going on in the US of A for a good number of months now. And today, the Sunday, 19th of January 2025, is supposed to be the day that TikTok gets deleted from the US, right? Which did pull through for those of us who are wondering. Yes, the app has been banned in the US of A, and several news outlets have been talking about its ban. But according to this article by CNN, which was posted today, the 19th of January 2025, Trump allegedly said that the app is going to get restored. So I guess we'll see about that. But back to today's topic, we're going to be talking about the interesting turn of events that transpired during this past week as a result of the US government's plan to ban the TikTok app over there in the US of A. So American TikTokers decided to go look for a different platform entirely to fall back on and use as their backup. They did not want to go on Instagram and Facebook, and they have their reasons, which I'm not really going to be getting into in this video, because going down that route is just going to make the video longer than I want the video to be. But just know that American TikTokers were like, fuck Mark Zuckerberg, I'm not coming on your platform. So they went and they looked for another platform, and they found this particular Chinese platform. Yes, another Chinese app called RedNote. After the American TikTokers discovered this platform, Americans went there in droves, to the point where this particular app, the RedNote app, became the #1 most downloaded app in the country. It made the news, guys. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's still #1 most downloaded app in the US till today, even the 19th. But don't quote me on this. But yes, it was the #1 this past week. And quite honestly, I could not help but laugh watching this ton of events on TikTok, because this was basically the US citizens giving the middle finger to the US government. Because let's not forget, the reason why the US government said that they want to ban the TikTok app is because they believe that the Chinese are taking the private information of their citizens. They said they want to do this for national security, right? But the actions of US TikTokers says that basically, fuck you and your fears about national security. We know that that's not the reason you want to ban this app. We know the ulterior motives that you guys are on. Cut the cap, we see right through the BS. But just so you guys know, it wasn't only US citizens that went on the RedNote app. Other people from other countries around the world, from Africa, in Europe, in other parts of the Americas, and just all around, right? When they got to hear about the RedNote app, they too went on the RedNote app. Put to mind that the RedNote app is an app that was used before now predominantly by the Chinese. It's a Chinese app that was used by Chinese people, and we had never heard of it. At least the majority of us have never heard about this app before, like this past week. So, and the only reason why we heard of this app was because of the ban. So what then happened was, which is the topic of this video, finally we are getting to the juicy part of the conversation, because all of what I've been saying since is just an introduction, so you guys can really understand how everything played out, right? And how we got here, right? How we got to this topic, got to this video, why this video even exists. So when people start going on the app and spending more time on the app and consuming content from Chinese people, they basically became open to a different kind of China, a China that they did not know existed. And they started comparing what it's like in their country to what it's like in China. And people started getting offended, especially US citizens, right? They started learning that the way it is in their country, that's not how it is in other these countries.
Has anyone seen the grocery hauls on RedNote? Y'all gotta go there and check it out. That is exactly what is going to cause a evolution with an R. If one ever happens, it's going to be over food. So Chinese people on RedNote have been making friends with Americans. They've been sliding in DMs, just randomly sliding people's DMs, talking to them. And one thing they've started doing is they've started just going grocery shopping and posting it, just showing Americans what their grocery stores look like and the prices. And I'm telling you, RedNote is going to be banned quick. Like, that shit is going to be taken off the App Store yesterday. Have you seen the grocery hauls? Have you seen the cost of food? And theirs has no poison in it like ours does. Have you seen what these people are eating? Have you seen how much it costs for them to sit down after a hard day's work and just say, whew? Like, when you're so full, you just gotta sit back and undo your button. Do you know what it costs to do that in America? Have you seen what it costs to do that in China? Yo.
They started learning that, wait a minute, it's like we probably are not the greatest country in the world. We were sold a lie, especially sold a lie about China and what the country is like. So you are trying to tell me that these people are this technologically advanced? You are trying to tell me that they don't pay property taxes? You are trying to tell me that, wait, they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck to buy groceries? You are trying to tell me that they don't have to work 50 million jobs to survive? You are trying to tell me that they don't have to do all of this extra stuff? You are trying to tell me that these people are more free than I am? and living better lives than we are, and it never had to be this hard. This is not how everybody else is living globally.
No homeless people in China, because in China, even though you are very poor, like you're a very poor person, and even though that, your parents maybe have an old house inside the countryside. They have an old apartment inside the city somehow. And that house, that apartment, just paying zero tax to the government. We Chinese, we do not have property tax, housing tax. We also do not have a car tax. Like every year you need to renew a tag on your license in the United States, paying $250 something. No such thing.
I know this video is not about Africa or Nigeria, if I should narrow it down to my country. And I know that we too have our own issues down here, right? And our governments are not the best, right? Because they too screw us over, right? But you see this topic of property taxes, that's one that have always been insane to us, because over here in Nigeria, there is nothing like property taxes. Once you pay for a property, that's it. That property is yours for the rest of your life. Nobody's going to ask you for any other money on that property. And once you give that property or pass that property on, right? Once someone else inherits that property, that person gets to enjoy that property for the rest of their life, and nobody's going to ask them for a dime on that property. And just like that, forever and ever and ever, amen. When we first heard about property taxes, we're like, what kind of demonic practice is this? Like, this is insane.
Once we own the car, we own the house, just no tax. We only pay tax when we buy it for one time. Okay, such like my apartment, $70,000. When I buy it, I only pay one time 1% of the tax.
I've been on RedNote for a few days, and I'm humbled. As an American, I'm very humbled. I don't have that very many followers right now, but just seeing what I've been scrolling through on RedNote, they are far more advanced than we are. Their cities are gorgeous. And I'm talking about the smaller cities. And some people that live in the south of China, this one girl sent me a text of photos of a park. And I'm like, we don't have parks like that. Their parks are far better than ours. And here's the thing. They can afford lots of food. They have affordable cars. Their roads are better than ours. Yeah, we're screwing up. America's really screwing up on a lot of things. Our government has lied. I'm gonna stay on RedNote for a little while to see how it works out. I'm still gonna be posting on TikTok until it gets banned. But seeing how China really is has been very humbling.
The threat to ban TikTok has got to be one of the biggest mistakes that the US government actually made. And I'm saying the threats, knowing damn well that yes, they did go on to ban the app, but I'm talking about before the app was banned, right? The threats, what did that create? How was that a bad decision? The point I'm trying to make here is that it created this opportunity now for the Americans to be able to know that there is something bigger than America, because we know how America has been positioning herself, right, as a country. And now America has got to see that, wait, life is different and better in other places, and it's not all that great. We don't have it as great as they want us to believe we have it, right? And now people are pissed. And there's even talk about, I saw a brother make a video talking about how this might lead to a revolution, right? But we'll see how it goes if it gets there. But now, basically, what the US government did was shoot themselves in the foot, because they, of course, have been trying to keep the American people blind. They don't want Americans to really know what's going on in the rest of the world. They don't want Americans to know the dubious things that they're doing all around the world, right? The heinous, sinister, wicked, demonic things that they are doing. And that's also one of the reasons why they wanted to ban the app, because a whole lot of educating goes on there, a whole lot of expose goes on there. And guess what? US citizens are not the only ones who are pissed right now because of the findings that they've come to going on the RedNote app. For one, me as an African, I'm pissed. Seeing how behind we are, I'm pissed. And the thought that we have been comparing ourselves to like the US, right? Thinking that's the ultimate, that's the ending, right? So if you can measure up to that to some degree, at least you are doing well. But come to find out that there is something greater than that, and we did not even know it. So we've been basically limiting ourselves because there is more that we could have been thinking about trying to get. But in our heads, we're like, oh, the US, the US, the US, that's it, right? And I'm like, this is crazy. This is insane. And I say this because you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes, or most times even, yes, I would say, the things that you don't know can limit you. Because once you have knowledge, with knowledge comes more understanding, more awareness. Your horizon becomes more broader. Your perspective even changes, right? How you think and how you see things would be very different. And that can help your creativity. So how does this play out? Very simple. When someone thinks that A, for example, is the greatest, not knowing that B exists and that B is greater than A, they get limited by A in the sense that when they are striving to want to achieve greatness, they are looking to A as the standard. They are thinking, oh, I either have to get to where A is at or just try to surpass A little and I'll be great, right? Not knowing that the B exists, right? And B is greater than A. So even if they do get to where A is at or maybe surpass A, they are still not going to be, at the greatest because B exists. But they don't know this because they don't know that B exists. I'm struggling here, but I hope you guys can understand the concept that I'm trying to explain here. But moving on with the video though.
This is my photo. So now, with my hand, I already selected the photo, and then I come here, I press it. Guys, what do you think about this thing? And then, can someone please tell me why we are so behind here in the US? Like, bro, I just saw some videos of what China really looks like. Bro, we are 200, 300 years behind. Let me just show you this. Check this out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shanghai. Step into China's world of advanced transportation and stunning architecture. Join me as we explore Shanghai's vibrant cityscape under the evening lights.
What are we doing wrong? What? That looks like something straight out of like a video game. Like, what?
Like, are we even in the same era? And for the girlies, look at what they are doing with their nails over there. Hey!
Okay, have we seen the nail game on RedNote in Asia? They're on a completely different level. Oh no. These look expensive. What? I just don't think American women have seen these yet. Even the like small plain ones are like, look at these right here. I've never seen a girl wearing something like this here in America. Insane. They're like beaded gemstones. Even like the dainty ones, the regular ones, the craftsmanship. Look at that. You see how it transforms? This is what we're working here with in America. This is what we got over here. And they're doing this type of stuff. And we're over here doing this. And all along, Asian girls have been doing these. They've been on these. While we're over here just getting more out there. These remind me of like Crocs. Just we're doing the most in America with the nail. These don't actually look bad. The chrome heart. They're just like really big at the ends for some reason. And these ones were my favorite right here. My personal favorite. Look at the craftsmanship. This is art. This is really something to show off. And the interesting part is that your nail tech could probably do this here. You just have to show them the video of these nails.
And that's the point I was trying to make earlier, that sometimes we are limited, but we don't even know that we are limited. And the reason why we are limited is because we are not aware that there is something greater than what exactly we are aware of that exists. Does that make any sense? Let me rephrase that. Sometimes we are limited because we just don't know that there is something greater than what is in front of us.
This looks like guy hands right here. This could be a guy, but even these are very nice. And if you want to find this style, or you know somebody that'll like this style, send them to RedNote and type "Purdy Nail," which translates to this, Purdy Nail. Just screenshot this, click it in your photo, and copy it. That little thing will pop up that says translate, and translate it, and just type these on RedNote in the search bar, and they're all gonna pop up. Show whatever style you like to your nail tech. I think you're gonna go on like a doom scroll with these because there's so many. Let me know what you think in the comments. Tag somebody that you know is gonna want to try these. But I guarantee your tech could do these.
Like I was saying earlier, not only US citizens are complaining after finding out about, or are pissed even after finding out about how things are in China, even Canadians now are complaining.
Well, I gotta tell you something. We have been fed so much bullshit. You really need to go and sign up for RedNote. Just go and peruse the site. It's mind-blowing. The kindness, the generosity that the Chinese people are showing to the Americans who come on there, the way they're welcoming them. Yes, they're asking them to follow the guidelines of their app, which is standard practice. But when you start looking at what you see on RedNote versus what the governments have been handing us for propaganda and bullshit, my God, man, I spent a couple hours just going through the site, and really it's worth the time for you to just sign up, go onto the site, and you don't even have to set up a full account to go and look. But like, the amount of money that they have to spend on groceries, for example, is peanuts compared to what we pay here in Canada, and I'm sure the same in the US. It's like night and day. Their world there is so much better than the way they portray it. They're not a repressed people. They're intelligent. They're not what they try and tell us, that they are evil. China, 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 as Trump would say. Go have a look. Seriously, you're going to get a rude awakening about the truth and the propaganda that we've been hand-fed for years, that China's our enemy. They're not our enemy. Our enemy are the people who sit in those fancy chairs in Congress and Senates and politicians. The rich, the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, the people who hand us BS. I have to say that I got an education in the last 24 hours, just going through that site, watching various videos. Now, it's not TikTok. It's more of it's slightly different than TikTok, but it's good. And it's unbelievable to see how many people will welcome you. Go have a look. Take care, my friends. God bless. And let's put an end to the government's nonsense, both Canada, US, and around the world. China is not an evil place. China is not a place where they repress their citizens. I mean, yeah, there's things they can't do and things they can't say. But they live a healthy and prosperous life there. It's different. Go see for yourself. Give me your feedback when you're done. I'm curious to know what you think. Take care, my friends. All the best.
See, it was all good when it was all good, but now a bitch is getting aware. I'm too aware. This little Red Book app has me too aware. And I can't go back once I start knowing shit. Our government, quite frankly, does not fuck with us. And we knew this. We knew this. I knew this, you knew this. But being on the Red Book app is putting it into visual perspective. It's putting it into visual perspective. Do you see how the Chinese are living, guys? America is considered the leader of the world stage, yet we have one of the most highest homelessness population rates compared to other underdeveloped countries. Do y'all remember a few years back when there were so many videos of Chinese people having to live in storage container units because of the homelessness or because of the population? Yeah, I'm here to let you know that the homelessness rate in China is 0.18%. 0.18%, and their population is 1.4 billion people. Here in America, our population is 32 million, and we have a homelessness rate of 2.04. 2.04. That's roughly about 700,000 people. America is the only developed country in the world that does not provide some form of universal health care. In China, 95% of its population is covered by basic health insurance. Their health insurance is provided through government-supported or mandated health insurance policies.
And this is one of the reasons why I really want to make this video. I didn't want to make this video because I want to just talk about how, oh, finally the Americans are saying that their country is not that great. That's not what this is, because I'm from a country that's not that great as well. So who the F would I be to want to point at some other groups of people, right? But one of the reasons why I'm making this video, like I was trying to get to earlier, is to say, like, the bar is so high, right, that there is so much work that needs to be done in all our countries. We have really been getting the short end of the stick, right? While yes, in my country, Nigeria, there is a form of universal healthcare in my country, as bad as it is in Nigeria. At least we have that, a form of healthcare that has been greatly subsidized by the government. But be that as it may, there is still room for improvement, because it's not all that great. If you go to the hospitals, right, it's not all that great down there. They don't have all the tools, all the facilities, equipment, and all of this stuff. Like, there is still work that should be done, right? And that's the reason why I'm making this video, to show that, like, it really is painful, really, when you think about how, like, when you see how you are living versus how other people are living, and you know that this thing can actually be provided for you. your country can actually get these things done for you. You don't have to be living like this. But because we have these selfish mofos up there, and in the case of Africans, for example, we have puppets, making it worse, right? They're not only are they selfish, they are also puppets. So they are not even thinking about us, right? It really is very painful because the system has been created in such a way that we have to depend on these people, the most of us at least, have to depend on these people to provide these things and create systems that will make our lives easier, but they choose not to. And that's another reason why I'm making this video. As the Americans are pained, me, I'm pained. Because at first it was comparing to them and what they have, right? But now I'm finding out that what they have isn't even like the best of the best. I mean, I've been known that to some degree, there are some things that they have that I can look, I'm like, no, I don't want that. Like, the property tax, for example, I don't want that. There are other things that they have going on as well that I don't want, just using the property tax for an example. But there are also some things that they have that I wish we had, right? But now come to find out that, those things that they even had that I thought were that great, there are people who have even better than that. It's now very painful. Like, you guys understand. It's sad that we have been forced to be living like this. It's so unfair and it's painful. And I can really relate to the Americans.
Their health insurance is provided through government-supported or mandated health insurance policies and plans. Here in America, majority of our health care comes through private sectors, meaning a lot of us have to pay a premium. We have to pay out of pocket. In China, they don't have annual property tax. So once you pay off your mortgage, that's it. It's yours. The land is yours. It's yours. You lose your job today, you have a place to stay. In America, and we're still dealing with a housing crisis that our government doesn't want to do anything about, but they want to take away TikTok. Because through TikTok, we find out how much they're fucking us over. The Chinese government has more policies put into place to make their residents become owners rather than keep them as long-term, lifelong renters. Whether it's vehicles or housing, they have more of the chance, more of the possibility of being an owner than the average American. And y'all heard how I said 95% of their population is covered under basic health insurance, right? 95% of 1.4 billion people. Here in America, we have 8% of our population that does not have health insurance. In numbers, that is 2.56 million people who do not have health insurance here in America. But we're paying taxes though. Y'all are increasing taxes. Yet we have 2.56 million people walking around without basic health insurance. And don't get me started on their goods. Don't get me started on their goods. Have y'all seen their electric cars that are under $10,000? Some of them are under $10,000, and they're outperforming any luxury car that we have here in the United States. I just saw a car get fully submerged in water and still performing. Yet we have this eyesore of a tank called the Cybertruck that's catching on fire if it gets overheated. This is making me too hot. It's making me too hot. Like, I'm dead ass. Luigi's game about to be multiplayer, because what the actual are you guys doing over there? Y'all forgot that y'all work for us? Why don't we have universal health care yet? We are the only developed country in the world that doesn't have some sort of fucking universal health care. Why? We are really a third world country with a Gucci belt, bitch. We don't even have the Gucci belt. It's Fucci. It's Fucci. Everything is fake. Everything is fucking fake. We have a housing crisis. We can't afford groceries. Our kids are getting shot up in schools. You're taking away the autonomy rights of women because you want to force us to have kids because you want to make sure that your future companies have workers. Y'all literally, and now y'all want to take away TikTok. I hope TikTok is the 13th reason. I hope it's the fucking 13th reason and these motherfuckers start to revolt on y'all asses. I really do hope that Luigi's game becomes multiplayer. Dead ass.
And I won't even lie, I want some of Luigi's game to get down here too, over here in Nigeria. Because it's for real, it's starting to look like the only way to get away from these people is to buy all of their behinds for real. Because really, think about it. What have we not done to try and make these people see us, see reason with us, reason our matter, care about us? We've tried communicating, we've tried begging, we've groveled, we've done it all, but they still don't give a damn, and they are never going to give a damn. So it's starting to really look like we might have to take matters into our own hands if we know what's effing good for us. Because let these people decide, they would never change. They would never change. Especially these puppets we have down here. Like, I'm so effing sick and tired. So tired. I have myself wondering now, so if I were to have a kid, is this what I'm going to bring my kid to? This is starting to look like a generational cause. Africans be talking about generational causes, but for real, the real generational causes we're dealing with on this continent is these leaders. These leaders that have us on at a chokehold. But anyways, back to China. Just to make it perfectly clear, you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of the Chinese government, because their hands serve they our continent, right? So I want to make it perfectly clear that this is not a glorification of, you know, their government and all that they are doing, because I don't stand with everything that they are doing, right? While I can look at them and say, yes, they might not be all that great, but at least see what they are doing for their government, I can also look at them and say, you guys are effing, you people have your hand here, and we can see the things you are doing on the continent as well, and how you guys are trying to maneuver your way down here and be our second colonizers, calling a spade, right? While yes, China is, we can look up to them in this moment and say, oh, they are doing great, right? We can also talk about some of the diabolical ish that they are doing as well. Two things can be right at the same time. In this video, Sis was talking about how they have all of these electric cars, right, over there in China, and how cheap they are. But as an African, I cannot help but think about on whose backs do they get to enjoy that though? Because I've heard Congolese people talk about how the Chinese are very much involved, the Chinese government are very much involved in what is going on in Congo. So I'm like, it's not really as black and white. There is a gray area that should be acknowledged. Right now it's 9:44 p.m. and I am done with this video, but I thought I should go check to see what's going on TikTok, if there is any new updates. And I found out that TikTok has been restored. They have restored the platform in the US of A. I did not think it was going to happen this soon, getting banned today and still getting restored today. Wow. These people really must have come to realize that banning the app was a big mistake. They must have seen that if they are not careful, this could lead to a revolt, because Americans are very pissed right now and they can see that, right? So they thought, you know what, let's restore that app and get them calm down with it, because if we don't, these people could come for our heads. But I wish the Americans would not let this calm them down though. I wish they would hold on to that anger. Hell, I wish we would globally all be collectively angry, right? Because I feel like we're not angry enough as a people, especially even on the continent. Hence why we have not taken to the streets the way we need to and go, hell, snatch away from these mofos' hands the life that we want for ourselves, the lives that we deserve, right? So that anger, I wish they would hold on to it. Being angry with an intention, being angry with a clear goal, of course, I mean, that's what is going to get you the results that you want. So just to be clear, this is not me saying, oh, just be angry whenever you're angry, you know, that's how you get things done. No, it's anger that's channeled the right way, right? But anyways, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. What are your thoughts? Let's continue this conversation down below in the comment section. And of course, as always, I'll be catching you in the next one. Do have an amazing week ahead. Bye bye.
I've been lied to my whole life, and it's really, really, really embarrassing to be an American right now. It's really painful to know how much of my life has been wasted and how much money has been wasted and taken from me. And I'm traveling now outside of the United States, and I'm realizing how much better it is elsewhere. And I've only been to a couple countries and different cities so far, but I also am realizing how much we were lied to about China. And I know that we've been told they're our enemy, and and yet we have so many products from them in our homes in America. But it's people around the world can afford to live and enjoy their lives in a lot of countries, and in America we can't. That's why I left. I couldn't afford to live there and not work 7 days a week. And I have been out of the country since September, and I am living comfortably, and I'm not running out of money unless the government decides to take some money from me. I'm okay, but I'm embarrassed. I'm really shattered, and really disappointed. And people ask me where I'm from, and so far I've told people where I'm from, but I always cringe inside, and I'm like, I don't want them to know this. And most people know I'm American anyway, just looking at me. A lot of them say, oh, English? But I'm, I haven't said I'm from Canada just because it's hard for me to lie. But I always cringe, and I've met some people who've said, oh, I want to go to America, and all I can think is, oh my God, don't. Just don't. And I'm looking forward to going to China. I was going to go in the fall. It looks like it might be 2026 now. We'll see. But I want to visit it in person. It's absolutely beautiful. I realize that one of the things that's really struck me is, we're waking up. We're waking up even more, and there is no going back from this. Now that so many people have discovered RedNote, and it's all over TikTok now, until they take that away from us, it's just really, it's uplifting because so many more people are waking up to how much we were lied to about China. And yes, I know China has issues as well, but I'm grateful for that because there's no going back. We can't go back now. And the government can't lie to us anymore. And we're just going to say, oh, okay, they've lost control of us. And going forward, we're not going to go back to just being subservient and saying, yeah, okay, well, this is the way it is. And this is, we have to do these things and we have to obey. And there's no going back. And that's the beauty of this. There's no going back now. They can take RedNote away from us. That can be destroyed. We'll find another way. But we have communicated enough on TikTok, and we're communicating enough on RedNote now. Thank God that our eyes are wide open to how much we've been robbed, literally robbed of all our money. And, it's not a quick solution. We've done a lot in a few days, and I'm really, really grateful for that. I'm on RedNote, and I'm going to stay there, and I'm going to continue my travels, and my eyes are going to open even wider. And, I hope that one day I can proudly say, yes, I'm from America. I want to live long enough to be able to proudly say, yes, I'm from the new America, the really free America. And I know it's going to happen. I just hope I live long enough to see it. That's all I got to say right now.